Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Looking for Warriors. Really quick one. I want to talk about school, something I learned in school. And one thing I learned in science in school that always stuck with me, probably the only thing that I learned in science that always stuck with me, the concept of activation energy. Now, in their context, what they're talking about is when you're doing a science experiment, you have to heat it up or whatever. We'll put a Bunsen burner underneath it. These chemicals will react. That's the activation energy you have to give to it. But once you give the activation energy, it starts to create its own energy. Eventually it just starts to create its own energy afterwards. And isn't life just like that? Isn't life exactly like activation energy? I've started running. I need to do a bit of running, get into it. So, and one thing I do like a half an hour run, and one thing I always find is that from about 4 minutes in to about 8 minutes in is the toughest part of any run. It's so difficult. It's like you want to stop. Always. About somewhere between 4 and 8 minutes. You're just like, why am I doing this? You just want to stop. And if you just push through that little bit, get to 8-10 minutes, I can run all day after that. I can literally run all day after that. Sometimes I get to a half an hour and I'm not done. I want to go. I want to do another 10 minutes. So, but that part is just so difficult. It's so difficult, but once you push through it, you get your own activation energy. And after that, I'm just running. It's fine. It's not a problem. But you just need to push through that bit. That's the activation energy that I have to give it. After that, it has its own momentum. I found that in business as well. You set up business initially, it's really, really painful. It's lots of late nights, lots of weekends, so difficult. But you can certainly get it to a point where it starts generating its own energy. And sometimes you can get to a point where you can't stop it. There's such great people around you that you couldn't stop this thing if you wanted to. I think a lot of pop stars find that. Mike Posner was kind of talking about that when he's talking to his band that he's not going to tour because he's other things he wants to do. But the whole music thing has got such an energy already, it's very hard to actually stop it at that stage. Very, very similar when you're teaching your kids. When I'm reading with my kids, at the very, very start, it is painful and difficult, really difficult and painful. And you kind of think, well, is it always going to be like this? But it's really not. You just push through for a month. And it becomes such an enjoyable task, such a fun task. And you just can't do it every day. But when you are doing it, it's really enjoyable because they got so bloody good at it. And they'll enjoy it so much that they'll do it on their own. So it's an interesting concept, the activation energy, pushing the activation energy. Because it's the point where you want to give up. It's the point of what's the point in doing this? What am I doing? But you've got to push in the activation energy. And the problem with the internet now is every time I turn on YouTube, I get, are you sick of your 9 to 5? Would you like to blah, blah, blah? And no, it's all magic buttons now. It's all hit this magic button, just buy our course. And it's buy courses, find a buy course, I have no problem with that. But it's not a magic button, it's about consistent work. And sometimes I think I'm doing these videos and I'm selling consistent work every day. And I'm wondering, is anyone buying that? Does everyone really want the magic button? So maybe consistent work. But that's the consistent work is what it is though. But it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It can be like half an hour a day. But the magic button option just doesn't work. So a lot of people are going to be doing these courses and really disappointed. Not because the courses don't work, not because whatever they're buying, drop shipping or making courses or digital marketing doesn't work. Or SEO doesn't work or YouTube doesn't work. Not because of that. Because it's the consistent work every day that has to be done. That once you hit that, what's called the wall or the part where you have the activation engine, you're just going to give it up and move on to something else. So that's why there's going to be a lot of people disappointed about these courses and saying, oh, these are all scams. Are they? Well, you just have to put the work in. So Alan here from Looking for Warriors. Help me with my work and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. I enjoy that. Every time someone subscribes, I feel a little bit better about my day. So help me out there and put in a comment. So this has been Alan here from Looking for Warriors.